These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still
stop
need
it
to be
right there.
addressed.
These behaviors are not criminal offenses themselves, but they need to be addressed. Why is the police getting themselves involved with social issues and social problems, which aren't even considered crimes? They're not criminal. It's not a crime. It's not a crime in the UK as a chick is jogging down the street and she's wearing yoga pants, which hug her. Okay. That's what it looks like. You can see right through the. And so a guy minding his own business, he's just enjoying a cigarette at a park, looks over and he says, "Hey, you got a nice sweetheart." And she gets, "Oh, how could you?" Even though obviously that's the aim. They're not wearing that for themselves. I promise you. They ain't. They ain't. Oh, now it's a police matter. Now the cops are going to pull you over and be like, you made that gal feel very uncomfortable. You made her feel really uncomfortable. You're like, you. What are you talking to me for, guy? The out of here. What are you doing? Did you imagine a cop pulling you over because you said a chick had a nice, or you gave him a cat call? Hey, looking good today. The sirens go off. No, sir, we need to have a conversation. See, these women find that very, very uncomfortable. Yeah, okay, but is it a crime? No. Then what the are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
That is boredom on a whole new level. Give the population their guns back and the police can do some real work again. It's just wild. It's wild.
They have like hundreds of stabbings every day and they're doing this.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me. All right, keep going.
And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, they may then go on to commit more serious offences or more serious behaviours.
Okay, so now it's pre-crime.
Yeah, it's pre-crime, exactly.
Now we're moving into pre-crime.
This
the type of man who would dare look at a chick who had her hanging out and make commentary on that is a type of man who could move on to more serious behaviors. Perhaps that man may next time ogle. Maybe he makes a little kissy face. Maybe he does one of those things where you do the tongue flicking thing with the la 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 la, Maybe he does that.
With the fingers in the V?
Yeah, with the fingers in the V. Maybe he does that. Maybe he does that. A serious offense in the UK, apparently.
Maybe he texts his ex, "You up?" at 2 a.m.
Yeah, maybe he does. And he's drunk. And maybe, maybe he sends her a pic. Maybe he sends his ex a pic, mystery.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. It's the end of the universe, man. It's over. The biggest problem
he should be in jail for sure.
Yeah, spills it.
That man should be locked up.
Yeah, that man needs to get off. You need to throw away the key.
Yeah.
Darth Vader says for $10, the biggest problem we face is the same problem that it's always been and will forever be. It's not a battle of ideas. It's not the battle of policies. It's a battle of intelligence. There is some truth to the fact, to that, right? But I've noticed something interesting, which is that there are really stupid people who just using common sense have pretty base takes. Yeah, there are. I mean, just take a look at the Rumble chat. It's a lot of stupid people, but a lot of them have base takes. Isn't that true? I think it's true. Clearly the bigger problem. Yeah, clearly a bigger problem than the gangs. Exactly. Ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that this is happening. What are they going to do with anyone with Tourette's? Yeah, that's true. Well, then they don't know who should be more offended. Maybe they'll arrest the chick then. They'll be like, "Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. This gentleman had Tourette's. Okay, he can't help that he catcalled you. He can't help it.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Big t-
Big old
Uh,
Aruga.
yeah, he just starts going crazy with it. What they need, somebody needs to figure out where these female police officers are jogging for this entrapment of you maybe catcalling them, and just dress up like Pepe Le Pew and jog behind them. Because you're not doing anything that's actually a crime, just dress up like Pepe Le Pew and just stay back like 10 feet and just jog after them. That would be fun.
So it looks like the New Yorker has been out here talking about Sydney Sweeney's Aryan princess breasts and the man's hunger. And we're really not sure what decade we're in anymore. And this is a quote right out of the New Yorker.
The quote says, interestingly, breasts and the desire for them are stereotyped as objects of white desire, as opposed to, say, the man's hunger for Sweeney, on the precipice of totalizing fame, has an adoring legion, the most extreme of whom want to recruit her as a kind of Aryan princess. Okay, I want Mr. E, find this article. I got to read this article live. We've got to read it. But the idea of like, well, it's racist to just find hot chicks hot. I feel like we're in that arc now since the Sweeney thing. It's going to be, the whole thing is going to be like, oh, you can't say that obviously really smoking hot chick is hot. That might offend the fact that there's a lot of dudes who like to have sex with women. That's basically what they're moving towards, right? They're trying to they think that the white Aryans are trying to socially move away from their insatiable hunger for big booty. Is that what they think is going on? I'm pretty confident that's what they think is happening here. All right, let's take a look at it.
It's called The Benal Provocation of Sydney Sweeney's Genes by Doreen St. Felix.
Banal?
Banal.
Banal?
Banal, yeah.
Banal. The
Banal
the banal
provocation. Yeah, the banal provocation.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right. So, two American blondes have recently hawked denim. Beyonce, what the? An ambassador for Levi's, dressed in outlaw drag, arrives at the semi-deserted laundromat. She slinks out of her 501s, or we could perhaps call it something else, right? What else could we, instead of 501s? We could give it a different number. She gets out of her 304s, revealing her white briefs to a couple of stunned onlookers. The jeans go in a waiting washing machine to be tossed with diamonds instead of detergent pods. Under her cowboy hat cum crown, she is smiling knowingly. Her song Levi Jeans is playing. But what she's selling in the commercial is not Levi's, as I've written before. Her project in this cowboy Carter era has been to cast herself as a real patriot, a protector of this country's traditions from the fraudulent claim of white supremacists, by reimagining, to paraphrase, the ad copy of the Levi's campaign, the advertisement laundrette from 1985, which had its white male love object, Nick Common, stripped down to his boxers. She's burnishing a heritage brand in her queen image. So really, they're really trying to move this towards hot white chicks, and your attraction to them is you trying to throw society back to a time where people were oppressed by the evil white devil. That brings us to the second blonde, the actress Sydney Sweeney, who recently became the face of American Eagle. What is this campaign selling? The package is all over the place, a mismatch of tone and intent. There's the car commercial fantasy of Sweeney in control, tending to her Mustang's engine. The camera trailing her as she wipes her hands on her backside. There is the wink at advertisement theater. Sweeney wearing a crop denim jacket and flares, speaking directly to the camera. I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans, and I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Blah, blah, blah. We don't need the entire recap here. But this reminds me, do you guys remember years
Yes.
ago, Carl's Jr. had without us, some guys would just starve campaign, right? Very effective commercial. And
Wasn't
just to
that
give you,
pop star or like Paris Hilton or Jessica Simpson or something like that did those
I don't
commercials?
remember her specifically, but here's what they did. They took a ton of hot women and they had them bite into a Western bacon cheeseburger. And they were basically wearing next to nothing. Basically wearing next to nothing, right? Now, every single time I remember as a young man in my Coomer days that every time I saw said commercial, why I rather enjoyed watching it. Go figure. But you see, the thing is like there was always barbecue sauce all over their face and this and that. Clearly, they were selling sex there, right? But you know what was never present in any of those commercials, right? There was never, I seem to recall this specifically, that these were all white, busty looking blonde bombshells for the most part. There was a few brunettes too. Okay. What I never really saw there was a bunch of the modern models. It wasn't like, oh, without us, some guys will just starve. And then it showed one of these 100-pound machines biting in and consuming the entirety of a Western bacon cheeseburger in 2 bites. I don't recall that ever happening. Why? Because that wouldn't make you want Carl's Jr. That would make you want to throw up your Carl's Jr. And you can tell that, by the way, mystery, is this author a woman?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Of course it's a woman.